Ben Shapiro is one of the vocalists on the #1 rap song in America right now, and Nicki Minaj is congratulating him. We bet you didn't have that on your bingo card for 2024, but we'll explain to you why this might be yet another watershed moment in the culture war. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel. As always, a joy to have each and every one of you out there with us. We do not take a single person for granted as we continue to crank out videos of pure, unadulterated excellence. Folks, today we're talking about something that has happened which is extremely strange until you realize just how far woke had pushed the world and how much the world is now pushing back against woke. Today, it's no joke that Ben Shapiro is featured, and positively featured, in the #1 rap song in the world. Let's get to it right now. We're going to bring on the panel and see what they have to say. Paul Chatto is here, so is Culture Casino, and Nolan Thunder, along with Jonas J. Campbell and yours truly. Let's get started now. Ben Shapiro. He's got the #1 rap song in the world because it's 2024, and these things happen now, apparently. Here's the article out of the dailybeast.com because they don't like it, and that makes it all the more entertaining. Amanda Yin is the author here. Nicki Minaj has some thoughts on Ben Shapiro's diss track. Now, folks, we don't normally cover the rap music charts.
Oh, come now.
Yeah, I know, we will eventually when we start that channel. But this is pertinent, I think, to what's going on at Disney. We'll explain.
I know no one can see your face, but you are wearing the Run DMC chain around your neck.
No doubt, you would not believe the size of the clock that's on the
huge.
necklace.
It
Massive.
is gold. I'm really, people need to be impressed by what Pro has got wearing.
Well, I have to say that I'm very popular at the local Mexican restaurants for my rapping abilities. You see, I just gotta have a tostada, carne asada. That's right, I want the whole enchilada. Nicki Minaj sent her regards to conservative commentator.
To try to rhyme all of the Mexican foods. I feel like that's kind of cheating. They all kind of end in the same thing anyways. All right.
Folks, Jonas has officially become a downer already. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Nicki Minaj sent her regards to conservative commentator Ben Shapiro for his MAGA rap track, hitting #1 on the U.S. iTunes chart on Saturday. Minaj tweetified, I just listened to... Well, you know what? I want to give Nicki Minaj a British accent for a moment. That'll be fun. Here we go. I just listened to Ben Shapiro. Not bad. Congrats on #1. But it definitely sounds like Roman's Revenge when the beat first came in. I don't know. With a fair amount of implied side-eye as she compared the song's similarities to her own 2010 hit. Apparently, one tweet was not enough for Minaj as she followed up minutes later with another bewildered emoji-peppered response. What is really happening, and who is this, that other man rapping? Is this real life? He said, Nicki takes some notes. No. And keeps going and going. Guys, I guess what I want to talk about here when it comes to Ben Shapiro being at the top of the rap charts is the only way that this ever could come to pass is if the mainstream media, if pop culture proper, had pushed all of us so far into bizarro world already that the counter push had to be just as strange and just as extreme. Ben Shapiro rapping about his yarmulke, not something I had on my bingo card, but when one force meets another, the other force must be just as powerful, and this is, I think, just as absurd. Guys, have you listened to the track by Ben Shapiro, which is essentially an anti-woke, I don't know that it's MAGA, it's an anti-woke kind of piece of lyrics. Have you guys listened to it, and what are your thoughts on a world in which Ben Shapiro can sit at the top of the rap charts? What does it mean culturally?
Well, I'm going to fire in here and say, look, I'm just not surprised at this point. I mean, I've been watching like all kinds of things, AI rap tracks hitting the top of the charts and stuff like that. I'm seeing folks like Hi-Rez and MacDonald and a whole lot of folks out there doing some really interesting music things. So am I surprised that Ben Shapiro goes out there? No, I'm not.
Not very good rapper culture. I don't know if you've noticed.
I mean, Tom MacDonald does hit the top of the charts when he releases these.
Yeah.
You know, he does look like a SoundCloud rapper. He has the appropriate amount of face tattoos.
What does it mean culturally, though, that actually hit #1? And this comes on the heels. What was the song about North? What was it? North Men,
Snowflakes.
No.
Oh,
What was
Northmen, Richmond, north of North Richmond, which north of North Richmond is Washington, D.C.
Yeah, so it comes on the heels of that having been a number one. I mean, it quickly left the charts, but there's something happening out there, I think.
Yeah, I think the world's turning against the establishment's wishes, and I think it's and it's not the thing is it's not just in our sphere. You know, if you want to pretend that this is just a quote unquote a MAGA thing, which I think is garbage, it's people realizing that what they're being told are a series of lies. I think this is I think it's telling in that way. I think it's telling in that. You're seeing people come out in support of the previous occupant of the Oval Office. You're seeing statements made by the big wrestler himself, The Rock. You're seeing statements made by other rappers like Snoop Dogg. You're seeing a shift because people. I'm telling you that the wind has changed and people are seeing a shift towards reality now. I mean, they want reality. What they don't want is a lot of things that, you're being subjected to on the daily, which is just a narrative to get other people wealthy. Anyway, not to get too deeply into the politics of it all, but I
think it's deeper. It's not just political. It's cultural. Right. It's philosophical. Right. And I think you're exactly right. Yeah. This is the counter to the pendulum shifting back. And, we've went so far in one direction that now the opposite direction is pushing back in just as absurd as sort of ways. I guess I would ask this, Nolan, first of all, your thoughts, and then I want to talk about whether or not this is going to result in a bifurcated market or whether the market will hold together. Nolan, your thoughts on this?
Balance is such a good thing. We have seen so many things pivot towards the left in recent years, and especially I would say in music, you hear behind the scenes learning more about a lot of like the biggest artists in the industry, and you'll see a routine trend no matter most genres. Usually pop's usually the dominant genre on the charts. They're usually left leaning. They're usually very vocal on like social issues when it comes to the previous president. But outside of country kind of still had a bit of a conservative vibe to it for whatever reason. It seems like it's got a lot of roots in that, in a more conservative nature. But to see something that's going conservative with rap is a bit different, because I come from the good old era of that classic song, which I cannot say on the show, but involves doing certain things to the police, but coming straight from the underground, if you know what I mean. And it's refreshing to see. And honestly, if the broader scope of the media can really bring about balance, hopefully we can get back to more what it was like in the 90s and even arguably the 2000s, where there were still social issues, but we all could, kind of get along.
Yeah, well, getting along would be good. And that's a great segue to Paul's question that I've got for you. Mr. Chatto, can we hold the market together, or is this going to bifurcate into, I don't know, leftist and rightist marketplaces where, you go to different platforms to enjoy your different stuff depending on what philosophy you hold in life?
You're talking about this one song will do that?
No, I'm talking about, think about it this way. So you've got the Daily Wire starting their bent key stuff.
Oh,
I know that's probably not going to be on par with anything like Disney Plus, but you're starting to see sort of, and the left is far, far, far in the lead on this, but you're starting to see different platforms for people of different mindsets in consuming their media. So do you think overall that trend will continue and will continue to fork out and not have a shared common space? Or do you think that the market will hold together and we'll still all consume the same kind of media in the same kind of places, and it'll be more diversified in the future?
That's an interesting question. Wow. I mean, it dovetails with my interest in the drop in broadcast television, because that's where I started to see that slowly. Maybe it's never going to disappear, but right now, over the air and cable television is kind of segmented into what we call middle America. The rest of the regions that are internet connected are now on YouTube and Netflix and Hulu. They don't watch network TV. So the network TV business kind of follows along the bifurcation that you're referencing to, because if you watch the TV shows on the CBS, NBC ABC, you'll see that they're targeted towards a more conservative audience. I mean, except for the late night shows. And we're seeing, these entertainment companies trying to find a pond to fish in. They're desperate for it. Then you've got the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire. Well, I mean, we'll see whether. I mean, from the point of view of conservative thought and just a place where a bunch of people can confirm their biases, which is what we do on social media, right? We spend our time confirming our biases.
That's exactly what I wanted you to say. Thank you.
And thank you very much for confirming. Because
I would like to say I appreciate that you said what everybody wanted you to say.
But I think one of the interesting innovations of stations, let's call them, like the Daily Wire, is that I think for the longest time, and I'm going all the way back into the 60s, where people thought we had universal entertainment and universal news. And over time, we realized that really it was pointing into one direction. And that accelerated in the 60s and later on, where we did get very left-leaning news organizations. And you see, and not diving into the Trump thing, but you could easily tell where MSNBC and CNN were. I mean, they did not hide their biases at all, right? And people reacted to that, and you got Fox and these other stations where people feel more comfortable. So yeah, this bifurcation, I think it's going to get segmented even more.
So you think it's going to be the balkanization of the media landscape then?
Yeah, what will happen is that there will always be individuals, personalities, let's call them, that will be able to pull a wide group of people together just by the mere fact that they're talented and they've got some kind of show or TV thing, movie, music that reaches across all barriers.
And that's what we had for so long thought Disney to be, was one of those forces.
Oh my God.
Sort of a unifying connective tissue that brought everybody together. Didn't matter your religion, your creed, your ethnicity, your race, your background, your geography. You knew the lyrics to, a Disney movie from your childhood.
Your
or from your child's childhood.
Because if you went to Disney World, I was always shocked that the tarmac could actually handle the people that came in.
And unfortunately, that's definitely changed. We've got a video coming out on this channel this evening at 7:30, an exclusive with a former cast member, an international guest who came back to Disney World after several years and was appalled, and actually went through something that was extremely dehumanizing and not up to the dignity that people should act towards one another, from a cast member working there now. So we'll have that exclusive. And that's diminishing the number of people on the tarmac. Jonas?
Well, just the one thing I, of course, want to point out is all of that material that used to be so unifying. We talk about Peter Pan, Dumbo, Aristocats, as Paul pointed out in a separate chat right now. All of those things on Disney Plus are now labeled as offensive according to current day standards and not safe for children. So it's a funny thing.
What's so offensive about Aristocats in Disney's eyes? I still don't get that.
I think they mixed it up with the movie Aristocrats.
I
think that's
well, anyways, it's called
They probably like that one.
Oh my! Speaking of which, I have to apologize for a super chat I won't be able to read later. The thing about all of those movies is they depict older depictions of several cultures, and if we want to pretend that everybody now is perfect and everyone from the past is flawed, and anyone who upholds the past is obviously endorsing everything that has ever happened. We see new rants every day online of someone saying, I mean, even William Shatner is still having to defend the fact that the show that he was on in the late 60s, Star Trek, he has to defend Captain Kirk every single day if he so chooses, because people are going after him for the actions of a man in an era when apparently audiences liked it, when he was a manly man who all the women wanted to be with and all the men wanted to be. there's a certain amount of presentism in the way that not the culture from this Tom MacDonald, Ben Shapiro song, the culture that it is reacting to, and has gotten so absurd that it's easy to score points. It's easy for us all to just cheer for someone who is standing up and saying, "Hey guys, I think that over there might be incorrect."
Well, take joy in dragging out the statues of today, and take joy in diminishing the characters in the movies of yesterday, because in the future, folks, it'll be the little DEI placards and the little laminates that will be hauled out of the office space because they will not measure up to the standards of tomorrow. So go ahead, burn it down, because they'll burn you later. That's the thing we will create.
The rate we're going, is statues just going to be illegal in the future? It seems like we're heading in an era where it seems like it doesn't even have to be that old anymore for something to get banned. It doesn't have to be from like the 50s. It was with the 50s cartoons, then it became the 80s cartoons, and I'm already seeing it a bit with the 2000s cartoons that I watched when I was younger. Are we going to get to the point eventually where we're going to be watching a movie and halfway through the movie it cuts off because it was just too offensive?
I bet the statues
let the bannings begin.
Duck season.
Talking about offensive.
Rabbit season. Duck season. Rabbit season.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end. I know you want more. And that's why we plan to give you more. 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and of course 7:30 every single day, as well as the Pro Show, Tuesdays at noon Eastern. And if that's not enough for you, try out Valiant Renegade. Try out That Park Place, Midnight's Edge, and so many other channels that are doing what needs to be done to fight back against the feckless woke virus. Folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you do stick it to the algorithms, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below, let us know your thoughts. And wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.